there, this is Jack from Cult of Notion. Thank you so much for joining me today with this video. And if you've purchased this template, I want to take a moment to thank you so very much for your support. I really hope this template rocks your world and that you have fun using it, that it actually makes pitching fun for you. And if you haven't purchased this template, I hope this is the little kick that you need to buy it. This is the ultimate pitch template. What is it for? It is for cold pitching to people in an email or messaging form where you want to have a very cool landing page that is custom to them while also retaining your brand. Sometimes websites can be a little clunky, a little intense to be sending, or I should say to be creating, one page after the other for if you're pitching to a lot of people. So this template, it could be kind of used as a replacement resume. It could also be if you're trying to target a specific person or business with your services and you're trying to put your best foot forward essentially with them. So without further ado, let's get into it. Of course, there's always going to be a little block from me that just has my contact information. If you have any questions or feedback for me, please do not hesitate to reach out. I want to hear from you. I want to meet you. I want to get to know you and what you need and what other problems that you might be having in general, that could be maybe solved with the right Notion template. You know what I mean? So, and of course, if you've seen any of my other videos, V1 means version 1. Once you buy this template, I want you to have all previous iterations and current versions of it. So that's just to let you know this is version 1. As Notion edits more and updates more, then there could be multiple versions of this in the future. Okay. Start here. Here we go. This is most of everything that you're going to need is going to be in here. You have a start here section that's going to have this video actually is going to be underneath this toggle. We have the Canva template, a Tally embeddable contact form, the pitch template, and then we have some more information here. So first and foremost, since it's at the top anyway, Canva template is for your branding. The pitch template in here, we have 2 of them. They will have whatever branding colors that you want to have, or if you want to keep it minimal, that's up to you. But the idea was that you could have a taste of your brand in this landing page and make it really easy to see. So there's Canva templates that you can edit to tweak as you want for one or both of these pitches. You also have an embeddable contact form. As you're going to see in a second, there's going to be a contact form on both of these pages. And that's so that way whoever you're reaching out to doesn't even have to open their email. They can contact you within this landing page, within the pitch. So this is a template I made for you that has the similar branding that I have for this template, the blues and stuff. But once you customize it in Canva, you can then change it to this. All right, let's check out the pitches. So new demo work and new before after. Boom. This is a new pitch. If I click on this, we have quite a landing page. So if you share it, right, and you copy the web link, you make sure it's shareable to the web, and you copy web link, this is what you would put in an email or a message for a potential client or business or something, right? So this is what it looks like as a default. Because this is real and demo work related, I have multiple embeddable things here as well as templates for new columns, right? So you have, if you want to put a lot on there, you can also change it. So it's just 2 or if it's just 3. And then of course you have little description toggles for everyone. So this is great for if you are a videographer, a photographer, and you're trying to just show them quickly some of your best work, right? Or you're tailoring it to a specific client to show them specific things. That's what this is for, okay? Next, we have contact information and a Dropbox folder. As you can see, there's a red outline here. If you change any of this one time, it's going to change it in all of your pitches that you've created. That way, your information is always updated. This up here is just a little, if you have a custom message you want to say up here, that's what this is for. You could also delete it if you don't want to have anything customized up here. So that's what the contact is. This is essential if you want people to reach out to you. There's also a little social section. Now, there are widgets and similar things you can use in Notion for buttons. I don't like to use buttons very much, especially because sometimes it can be unpredictable with the formatting and the presentation. So for this, I kept it to just text that you would, add a link to. I usually do Command K, but if you double click on it, you can add a little link, right? And that could take you right to your Facebook or your Instagram, okay? Or you could have just a single link, maybe instead of or in addition to the website of, your link tree, right? Or something like that. That's what this is for. Any way they need to contact you outside of this beautiful form is here. Then you have a Dropbox folder. What is this for? So let's say you have a lot of work you'd like to share and you don't have it all on your website, right? Maybe some of it's private. Or maybe you have a folder just dedicated to what you know or think this client would appreciate. That's what this is for. That's one way you can use it. Also, another thing that I do is sometimes I'll make a custom Dropbox folder for a client that has like before and afters, which is a different pitch template you'll see in a second. But that's another way to use this. It's only meant, or at least it's accessible to this person, whoever this is. And it could be a little more honed in to them, or it could be more general. I mean, you don't even have to have a Dropbox folder. It could be your website, right? You could have a little thumbnail for your website. But if you wanted them to be able to maybe download the files that are raw, that's what the Dropbox or Google folder is good for. Next, we have this section, how I'd like to help, and then we have toggles, and these are also in red. So just like the contact information up here, if I change anything in the FAQs or the reviews, if I change it once, it's going to change it for everything. So that's the great thing about this. Nothing is outdated. So the how I'd like to help. Let's say you are trying to reach out to somebody about changing their website or helping to update it. This landing page, right, you could have web links of websites that you've done with a title for the company and a description of what you did, right? This could be the real work that you've done or the real demo work. You could have a Dropbox folder or you could keep it to your own website. That's kind of up to you in terms of what you're using this for. You could also have it so that if there's something else that you do, like maybe you do some custom design work, you could have a folder here for some of the design work or something like that. But then this how I like to help section is to try to keep your pitch punchy and getting right to the heart of the matter. So let's say, you check out their website and you notice like the homepage, one of the sections was too distracting, right? And took attention away from the main point. Maybe you're pitching to a photographer, right? So the photo of X, right? So what am I doing? I'm trying to say, look, this is what I've noticed about the website. This is what I've noticed about your photos or your branding or your whatever, right? This is flexible. You're noticing something, you're observing it, and then you would say how you could solve that problem, okay? So then I could be like, I have ideas for minimalizing the design while also showcasing the work in a way that draws the viewer in. Maybe you put a little example here of what you're talking about, right? That's what this is for. This is to be like, look, this is what I noticed. This is how I could help. Minimalizing isn't a word, apparently. That's what this is for, okay? You take a look or you take a listen, whatever observations you're making. Maybe you're copywriting, right, for people. Like, hey, I noticed this. This is what I could do instead. This is what I could offer you, right? Trying to basically sell them on the solutions that maybe you haven't even started on it yet. You're just trying to give them a taste. So that could be like, oh my God, that's exactly what I need. Or I've been struggling with that too. That's great that they pointed out this thing that, yes, maybe I don't like about what I've done or my branding, but they're already trying to say how they could help. You're putting your own services almost into action with this. These, of course, because it's in red, are accessible to everybody else who has a pitch of yours. So the FAQs are going to be general. If you want anything specific to them, you're going to want to put it in here separately. That way, it's not going to be viewed by everybody else who has the pitch. You have reviews. Now, I've included different formats because you might like to present them differently. So I have format A. It's not a call out. It's more of like a divider situation here. We have format B, more call outs, but you don't have multiple stars. And then format C, more simple looking call outs. And of course, these, which is, I guess, 0, D. The other thing I'd recommend is to have a link to where they can see more of your reviews. If they're like, wow, this is really impressive, I'm really interested, but I don't know if I trust it or I'm a little unsure, include a way for them to see either more of your testimonials or more reviews that are on a public location, public place, so that way they can also validate you because everybody wants to see that social proof, right? So maybe include a link here that they can check out. And then services. Maybe you're selling products, but ideally this is for someone who's in a service-based industry, creative or not, that is trying to showcase their best work and try to get as much information without it being overwhelming to who they're pitching to. So services, you might only want to include what you're trying to pitch. The other thing you could do is you could have some additional services that maybe isn't what you're presenting here, but let's say they click on there like, oh, they do graphic design as well, in addition to copywriting or whatever, right? The idea is that you can show them multiple things, have a price point or starting at point, right? So then nothing's unknown. Like they already know what you could do for them. They have access to your FAQs. They have access to your services and estimated costs, right? Nothing is confusing. All they have to decide is if they want to get in touch with you. That's it, right? They get your work. They have your contact information so that they have it on file whenever they visit this link. They have custom personalizations and observations to how you could help them. They have this information, which you change it once. It changes it for every single pitch. And then you have the contact form, which is made in Tally. This is a third-party thing. This is not Notion. This is not native in Notion. This is a separate thing. But without them even having to click on your website or type in your phone number or copy and paste your email, they can be, you know what? I'm sold. I'm going to sign up. I'm going to reach out to them, right? And you can do even more things with Tally as well, where you could have some questionnaires and stuff. Really, ideally, I'd suggest this be as minimal and as quick as possible so that this potential person doesn't get lost, doesn't get tired, doesn't feel like anything is too much. You want to make this as easy a decision for them as possible. That's why you have all this incredible stuff available to show them, right? So very flexible, very customizable, but packs a punch. That's what the goal of this is. That is the demo work pitch. The next pitch that we have is the before or after pitch. And honestly, it's extremely similar to the one before. The idea, though, is that let's say you actually have access to somebody's content in some way, whether it's a photo, a video file, right? A piece of written content, right? You can have a direct before and after to kind of be the selling point itself instead of having multiple things that you're trying to show them at once. And similarly, we have a how I'd like to help section and a what I observe section. So if you have an original thing that you saw, like the copywriting example, right? You saw on their site how they were advertising, or you saw an ad and you're like not impressed, you could say, what about the original was interesting and what you wanted to tweak or change or what you did in the before and after. This is more to address what is different about this, why you made the changes that you made. This might be an overall thematic thing. I'm observing that there's a lot of wordiness, and I think that you could use more power words, or I could include more power words in my work. I'm wondering how long this takes you because I could save you time, right? Like, this is more what you could do, or thematically what you could do, how you could help. This is if you have a before and after, what the original had that you changed. Okay, that's what that's for. So similar, but a little bit more, even more specific to who you're reaching out to. And again, same thing. We have everything that you saw beforehand, right? The FAQs, the services, right? If I change it on here, it's going to change it in everything else. So if you have different things you're presenting, you might not want to use the same template for everything, right? You might want to have one ultimate pitch template that's for one business or one service or one offer, another one that's for a different one, to kind of keep your system efficient. But the idea is that you have kind of two slightly different ways to approach it, both very, very powerful, okay? And then, of course, the same contact form that we had before. This is not synced. This little block up here is not synced with anything else, so this would be custom to them. If you don't want one here, take it out of the template, right? So it doesn't even duplicate anymore. But the idea is if you'd want to kind of get their attention at the top, you can, right, with the custom message up there. So those are the two different pitches. If you want to tweak the template, the original template, you have to go into the gear little icon here, and then you click on this. So that way you can tweak the photo, the contact form, anything default here. Let's say you don't want the 3 columns, you can just have another 2. You want to customize this default to fit. Maybe you already want certain web links or reels or whatever here. You can do it so the template already has that in it. You're just duplicating that and adding a custom message and maybe some observations, right? You do you. This is totally flexible, but it's extremely, extremely powerful, I think, even though it's rather simple in its concept. The other thing is, I don't know how active you are with databases. So I thought, look, even if you don't want to track it by database, I thought it'd be cool to have, you can always create a new demo work pitch, right? And let's say it didn't work out, you just drag it to a loss, or it worked out. Maybe you don't need to pitch them anymore, but you want to make sure that you remember that you want it. You can just drag the little page into the other page. But another form of keeping track of it is in a database form. And what I recommend you do is you have templates for new demo work pitch or new before and after work pitch. And if you actually prefer this, you don't even have to use these buttons. You could just click on one. It adds it. And then you've got the same thing here that was in here, right? So this is the same thing as this. The other thing you could do is have it so it's empty, and you can just drag and drop these into the card, and you can name it Wonder Woman's pitch, and the client or the lead was Wonder Woman. The status, right? We want it for now. And if you open it up, this that was right here is now in here. It's the same concept. It's really just how you want to work. I mean, so it's available for both. The thing you want to keep in mind, though, is that if you change it here in terms of default, like if I were to change this to say, for something stupid, demo, right? It's not going to change it in here. This is separate, right, from this template. So it's just something to keep in mind. So you might want to commit to one way. That way you're not trying to update back and forth and it gets more convoluted. Either, creating them here and dragging and dropping, or creating them in here and then customizing the templates within this, right? Just to kind of keep things more streamlined instead of less. That is the ultimate pitch template. Look, I hope that you score some awesome, awesome gigs, clients, businesses with this. It's one more thing that works really, really well inside of Notion, and I love it, and I hope that you do too. And if you have any feedback for me, questions for me, concerns, whatever, please DM me on Twitter at Cult of Notion or email me. My email is cultofnotion@gmail.com. I've got you, okay? So if there's anything you need, let me know. I'm here. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get some big bucks, and I will catch you later. I'm rooting for you always, and good luck. Have a great one.